Hello and welcome back to another video of me making shit. So I haven't been recording the last couple of days I've been here, just because I don't know, I get distracted and sometimes it's just easier to focus on what I'm doing. I was doing the rear arches, happy with them now. Got the front parts of that done as well. That one needs a little bit of an alteration, but pretty much done. Started looking at the front, which is a totally different kettle of fish. Not really going to be able to use the inner part of the inner arch like that. It's too low down. It's way too small compared to the arch, which is pretty massive. Also, like, we've got returns on the side skirt and on the bonnet, on the bumper, which I need to meet up to, and this is just miles away. If you put that into position there, if you look at how small that bit is compared to where the bumper is now, it's a lot wider and it's a lot further forward as well, so that section is completely unusable. So I'm going to make a flat bottom basically for the front that will extend right the way back, probably to the floor, but this is just too small, so I'm actually going to come off the top, and it's going to be quite a funny shape. It's not going to be like one arch. I think I might have to do it in 3 separate sections. The back bit coming up here just to stop stuff getting in behind there, so that bit needs to go to there, but then I need a top bit on there which will sit just underneath the underneath side of the bonnet, because there's barely any difference from the lip there to there. So yeah, the top bit's going to sit there, that bit's going to come up there, that bit's going to come up and meet that there at that level, and then obviously there's that section there, so I'm probably going to have to come off the underneath side of that and then go down into there to meet then the bottom plate. But it's not straightforward at all, so I've diverted my attention onto making this spoiler mould. So obviously I am going to be doing all the moulding in the kitchen eventually. Well, call it a kitchen. That bit through the hatch there, that's where we're going to do the fiberglass, but we haven't got tables set up in there yet. So actually I did, I put a table in there yesterday, I could move into there, but anyway, I'm going to do it here. So I've done this side of it, I put the fences on. Obviously you've seen us doing the fiberglassing before, previous episodes, so if you want to kind of get the full gist of it, go back and watch them. But that's this side done, so now I'm going to do the other side. So I need to flip it over. I'm going to use the PVA release agent, get 3 coats of that on I think, and then gel coat, and then 4 coats of 450 fiberglass with the tooling resin, which is that creamy coloured stuff. It's totally different to the normal resin. It dries a lot harder, it's a lot more stable. So I'll stick you on a tripod and we'll do that. Before I do anything, I need to cut these edges off. I've just put this over my arms because this nice little tail here. Don't want to put the full thing on because you get red hot, but put it over my arms because you get covered in itchy stuff. So I need to get these edges off, and then I've got a couple of bits of glue where the fences are glued on that I need to clean off, and a little bit of plasticine to sort out, take the fences off, and then we'll be ready to go. We'll put PVA on once we've got it all cleaned up, but I need to cut these edges off first, so I'll do that now. I'm going to get a clean filler card, a little bit stiffer to get off the stuff and the glue. Finding a clean filler card is easier said than done, so I'll have to clean one, which is generally just a scraping process with a blade. Let's see how we get on. So I'll just use some of this used plasticine to fill in holes on this end, because we've got, well, on both ends actually, because we've got the holes where the spoiler bolts up, and I don't want to be filling those because otherwise we'll, A, it'll knacker the spoiler, and B, won't be able to get it out of the mould. Just plugging them. I don't know whether it's something to do with the colour of the plasticine or what, but, or maybe the general ambient temperature, but this red stuff has been slightly softer than all the other ones. I've had pink and orange and green and blue, but the red seems to just be a little bit softer for some reason. Right, that's it, all cleaned up. Pulled out most of the plasticine, picked out all the glue, pulled out the plasticine so that the next, this side kind of tucks into that side and gives us a tighter seam. Wiped it down with thinners. So now I'm going to put, the other side's actually got 2 coats of PVA on. I'll probably just do the same. Some people say, you know, like 5 coats, and I think to a certain extent those extra coats are just to make sure that you've got everywhere, not so much that the layer's thick enough, but that you've hit everywhere. Could be wrong. You certainly need to make sure that you've got a good layer on everywhere, and I think 2 would be absolute minimum, but enough. Might put a 3rd one on, but the other side has only got 2 on, I think. So I'm going to put this layer on, and then I'm going to go around and see Jonathan, see what he's up to. Probably messing on with his gearbox conversions. It goes off pretty quick, this stuff. Get this on and go around and see him for a bit, because I'm sure he misses us. He'll say that he doesn't miss us making a mess. Dust, he doesn't miss the dust. There we go, that's that coated up. It's funny old stuff. It looks like it's going to leave a texture, and it does, but not as much as you think. It gets like a few bubbles in it and stuff, but it does dry back. Definitely prefer the wax though. Like I'm only using this because there's slight pores in the carbon. It's slightly porous in places, so I just want to make sure that this thing comes out. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not bothered about it being a non-perfect surface, because I'm only going to actually be using a spoiler about this big in the back of the car, so about half the width of it maybe. So I'm not even going to be using the full mould. This is actually like a primary mould to make the smaller spoiler, and then I'll take a mould of the smaller spoiler, and then that'll just produce the smaller spoiler size. So this is just a mould to make another mould. So I probably will do the next one using wax rather than the PVA. So it doesn't have to be perfect. And if I did want to use this and make a bigger spoiler, then you just got a little bit of resurfacing to do and paint or whatever. You wouldn't want to make a carbon spoiler out of this though, because, well, I suppose you could. It'd be fine. You'd be spraying your carbon anyway. So I just spotted a bit there. I'm thinking, did I miss that bit, or has it started drying already? I think it's started drying already, to be fair. It's quite warm today. It's about like, I think I got here about 3:30, so I'll tell you what time it is. It's 4:30 now. Go and see Mr. JDM. Right, so I've got a couple of good coats of PVA on this now. It's the next day from when I was putting it on. So that's well cured. I've just mixed up some gel coat. I'm going to get that slapped on. Put a bit more activator in it this time, so that it goes off a bit quicker, because it took its goddamn sweet time last time. Instead of putting 2%, I've put 3% in. So quiet out here when it's not windy and there's not planes flying about on the airfield. It's so quiet, really peaceful. So hopefully with this putting more activator in this, because it's like, I think it's 4 o'clock, something like that. I've been tattooing this morning. I'll get Cubes to put a picture of the tattoo that I've been doing in like here or there or there. You want a good thick layer, but you don't want to mess about with it too much, because obviously you've got that layer of PVA underneath. I don't want to drag that off, so just slap it on good and thick and not scrub it about too much. I'm not trying to spread it, you know, I'm just putting it on and pushing it about. I'm not trying to get it to go as far as it'll go, sort of thing. It's not like painting. You want it even, but what I should have done was take that out. It's just going to get in the way. And I'm just going to lightly go over the surface and even it all out and put some extra in these ends. Fills up that edge there. Better for the mould for when you're laying up the fiberglass. And then I'm just lightly going over the top of it and even it out a bit, because when you come to put the fiberglass on, you don't want it too bumpy. Actually, make sure you've got everywhere. There we go, let that go off. Right, so that's 4 layers of 450 gram resin, fiberglass with the tooling resin. It's 7:30 at night and I'm going to be heading off, so that's that done. I've been messing on with this inner arch as well under here. So it's starting to make a bit more sense now, although one thing that's bugging us is you're definitely going to be able to see it. The wheel comes about here, well not even there to be fair, but that's fixed to the underneath, it's just glued to the underneath side of the chassis leg, so I can't go any higher than that anyway unless I went right on top of the chassis leg, which I could do as well, and I might do. Either way you can still see the chassis leg, so it's not as if you're not going to be able to not see anything. Trim that back a little bit far, I'll have to extend that, but then that potentially can go like that and form the bottom corner as well. I don't know, we shall see. I was expecting to put like a full panel. Actually I need to measure from one side to the other, see how wide it is, order some stuff for it. That's what I'm doing, or I've been doing. I'm gonna pack up, go home, and I'll be back out here tomorrow.